Hey dreamers, this is Anisha Jennings, a fellow immigrant and an entrepreneur. From being an engineer in India to building my tech business in the US, I've lived the journey you're on. Welcome to Your American Dream podcast, where we turn immigrant challenges into superpowers. Are you feeling out of place, struggling with a job hunt, or simply missing home? I've been there, and I'm here to guide you through it. In each episode, we'll dive into real stories, practical advice, and mindset that will help you write your unique success story. From navigating cultural differences to building a purposeful life, I've got you covered. So if you're ready to turn your immigrant experience into your greatest strength, let's dive in. Your American dream starts now. Welcome to Your American Dream. Today, I'm honored to welcome Carolina Guardiola Romo, CEO of the We Are All Human Foundation. Carolina is a strategic engagement leader whose career spans work in Monterrey, Shanghai, Geneva, and New York. She has driven global initiatives that strengthen trust, elevate Hispanic leadership, and increase visibility across sectors. Before We Are All Human, she served at the Permanent Mission of Mexico to the United Nations, working in digital diplomacy, press relations, international security, and global cooperation. She has led major partnerships with Fortune 500 companies and orchestrated high profile convenings, including the Hispanic Leadership Summit and activations at the World Economic Forum, Keynes Lions, and the UN General Assembly High Level Week. Carolina is passionate about building meaningful connections, curating high value networks, and creating platforms that drive belonging and collective progress for the Hispanic community. Welcome, Carolina. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Anisha. It's been great. Thank you so much for providing these amazing platforms for dialogue and for us to work more on the environment of mentorship and sharing our stories and sharing our bruises so that younger generations can come up the ladder, both the corporate ladder, the life ladder, in half the time with half the bruises.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here and being willing to share your story so you can impact our younger generations. So tell us a little bit about how it all started. What was your journey like beginning, and you've moved all across the world, and then now you're in New York. Tell us tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yes. So look, starting right from the beginning. So I am originally from a town called Chihuahua, like the dog. It's very easy for people to understand where I'm coming from because there's a very famous dog that serves for visual purposes. And I grew up right on the border between Texas and Mexico, between Texas and Chihuahua, from a place called Ciudad Juarez, which is globally known, but not necessarily for the right reasons. So that's the place I grew up. That's the place I call home. That's the place where my family lives. Most of my family is still there. So I think right from that part, it was a place that showed me a lot of the important parts of the community, like the importance of the community and the importance of having role models, of having mentors, of looking outside the bubble to find opportunities and to pretty much go after your dreams. And it empowers you because in Juarez is a place where at least my circle and my family circle was surrounded by friends more than family. Like we all ended up going to that place because of work, because there was where the work was. So your family are your friends, and then your friends eventually become your family. I think that was like kind of the brain and the bottom of the whole way of how my brain operates.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think of family, like I see, like I think your culture and my culture is very similar in that sense, where we are all very close and very like um a close knit with your family. But when your family is far, your close knit is like your friends, your community, the community that is surrounding you, and that community, of course, counting also my parents and my brother, were the ones that kept pushing me to pursue these dreams because I was always like, yeah, like I love this place, but I'm not gonna stay on this place. Like I love growing here. I love the tools that these places giving me, like the solidarity, the force to be strong, to be a woman in a place where it was such a dangerous thing to be a woman, to be I don't know, like just to be resilient and to be strong and to be fearful. I mean, not fearful, but fearless.
Yeah.
And just to go out and go after what you want, learn things that are probably for men.
Uh-huh.
And back then, I'm not gonna say how old am I, but like back then, it was very normal to be like, no, that's a guy's thing. Like going out on a work trip, it's a guy's thing. It's like what your dad would do
Mm.
and going out on an exchange program or stuff like that. I left the first time I left my house to live in another place was when I was in junior high school. And it was weird because the way my family, my dad particularly encouraged me to get this kind of permits was by doing a presentation. A
Mm.
presentation of why do I want to go and study or live in that place? What's the return on investment? How long
Beautiful.
would it take me for him to see like the not the investment, but yes, the investment that he
Yeah.
was putting on me at the time? What were the tools that I was gonna get from that experience? What was I willing to put into the experience? And how was I gonna be measuring like my success on each one of
Absolutely.
his opportunities? So I think my brain is pretty much coded on that front, and that helped me and showed me how to be strategic on like, okay, first I wanted like Canada because I wanted to master my French. It backfired because I went to Quebec and my French was
Mm.
from France. But in the end, it was a great experience. And then I was like, okay, I want to go to Australia. That deck did not get approved. That PowerPoint
Mm.
presentation did not get approved for me at least, but it got for my brother. So I started
Okay.
like opening roads for him as I was
Right.
going. And then when it was the Switzerland piece, it was because I really wanted to check that I was on the right path. I was
Mm-hmm.
on the international relations bachelor's program, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I just want to make sure that I'm going on the right direction.
Yeah.
That I'm doing the right thing, and that I'm actually pursuing something that I will be able to love and to give the value and to get
Yes.
value in a way. So I was like, okay, I want to go to Switzerland and I want to do an internship. So first I started doing an internship in these global organizations. But since my bachelor's was in Mexico, they were not going to be accounted for. So I was doing it
Mm.
basically for free, just for experience.
Oh,
And just for me
okay.
to learn how they worked, it was not child labor though. But not too far from that though. It was consensual, I would say. And hopefully we cut this part. You told me to be cut. But then, yeah, it was like with the global fund. And then I started learning the dynamics of the corporate world with international organizations. And then I was like, okay, my next step should actually be something that I can put on my resume, like something that it would grow on my resume and also on my tools, on my skills, on what I can learn, but also what I can give back
Right.
and see if I'm on the right path. So I ended up extending that experience and I ended up working for the Mexican mission to the international organizations in Geneva for some months doing some projects and then it was pretty refreshing because I think I was pretty young back then. Like I don't think I had the maturity to kind of create a path back then. But then I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, after I got back and I got back to the university and whatnot, and I was like, okay, fun time is over.
Yes.
Like, okay,
Yes.
let's get back to business. What's the thing that I love the most? Okay, so if I love learning about cultures, experiencing cultures, and just like
Mm-hmm.
learning by living. Back
Yes.
then we used to call it street smart. Now you say you're street smart, and people are like, huh?
Yeah.
But it was like a mix of getting those experiences together with what you were learning in school, with what you were learning from the readings, from the books that you were into, from the
Mm-hmm.
TV shows, even from the movies. So I
Right.
started getting super curious, and I got into these things called the Model UN. And those models of the UN are all over the world. Some places do them more intensely than others. And then I started getting into this motion of like, okay, this is a whole world. Like they did a few of them in Mexico, but they also did a few all across the world. I went to one in Brazil, I went to another one in India, but that started getting me into this community, into this like more global community, into also going to other universities. Like the one in India, I think that's the best experience I've had in my life with a Model UN. But it got because I started getting curious about like additional extracurricular kind of things. And I think that's very ingrained and embedded in the way I work now in my professional life. Like after
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, 12, 13 plus years after, it's still ingrained. So I think that's why it's very important for me to start with that part, with that like little
Yes.
caveat of how it started like curating the way I operate and the way I go about the work I do. And then fast forward to the other experiences, like with China. I think I was the only one that studied international relations in China. Like we all
Wow.
went as part of a program, and they all looked at me like, "Are you lost? Like this is a certificate program. Like, are you lost? Like you're more into the diplomatic life and the consulates and the embassy said, but this is China, this is business. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm here and I'm gonna Google every single instruction that I get, but I'm gonna stay here because I wanna come here because China is da 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 da. And then I had my list because I had my PowerPoint presentation.
Right, right.
It to work. And yes, to be honest, I had to Google pretty much the first month, probably almost the first month. I had to write down everything that I was being asked and
Mm-hmm.
just Google it or like look it online to make sure that I was actually getting the instruction properly so that I could deliver what I was being asked.
Right, right.
And but it was quite the challenge, but it was one of the most satisfying challenges I've had in my life.
I love it.
So yeah, that was China. I ended up finishing the business certificate and staying in China a bit more than it was planned. And then
Mm-hmm.
it came the opportunity to go back to Mexico, work in Mexico for the city government in the youth programs with the Institute of Youth of the city
Mm-hmm.
of Monterrey. Monterrey is a very big city and very important city in Mexico, very
Mm-hmm.
industrial. It has a lot of yeah, it has a lot of money. It has a lot of growth. Back then, it had even more. It was like on the track on the way up. So working with those programs in the end was my way of going back into like leaving the business corporate world, the finance, and going back again into my world of where the business, the social, and like the programs, the communities were all coming together. So it was like my way of putting my finger back in. Okay, this is what I really love. This is where I thrive.
Yes.
Then I also needed to complement those skills with like the hard skills, with the finance, with the
Mm-hmm.
numbers, with the admin, with the business, with the technical skills, with the necessities. And I think where again the importance of the mentors came back in because they were like,
Right,
okay, like it's great that you know where you're going to, but you still need to keep tailoring the learnings
right.
to what you're still lacking because it was a thing of lacking some tools. And then there's where the other experiences came in. I came to New York for a temporary project, so I asked for a leave of absence to that job in Monterey to come to New York for a project um, with UNICEF, and then went back to my job after like the 3 months of that project. And then I got called from the Mexican mission to the United Nations. And
Mm-hmm.
I came to the interview, and the ambassador that interviewed me was the same one that gave me an internship like back then in Geneva, decaying
Wow.
years before. And then when I went to that interview, I was like, wow, like talk about a small world.
Yes, yes. Wow, that's an
Yeah, but
amazing
it all
story.
came together through
Yeah.
mentors and through role models and through people that we just kept staying in contact, probably not on a daily basis, not even probably on a monthly basis, but it's like
Right.
the power of the relationships that you keep building throughout your life since the
Absolutely.
moment you go to the school, like since
Yes.
elementary school. Like it's the power of those relationships that will
Yes.
keep the whole network out and the whole community, everything together. So I'm
Yes.
I'm
For
I'm
sure.
I'm really in awe. I'm really thankful for both the mentors and also the relations. across
Yeah.
all of those years. I was there. I was a happy kind of diplomat for the Mexican permanent mission to the United Nations for quite some time. And then after that time, I've always been involved in one NGO project. Always, like it's just my way to. It's like my happy place. That's what I.
Okay.
That's what gives me the energy. That's what gives me the purpose. Like just seeing the purpose. Seeing it's like creating a bread when you see it from scratch, and then when you see it all cooked and baked
Yes.
and done, and it's just that process is like so fulfilling, so energizing that I've always grown having like at least a finger in like how can I help on this, like things that I'm very passionate about. And then
Beautiful.
when we all started, it started say 7 8 years ago probably. um and it also came out from my aunt. My aunt is the founder of that foundation, and she started with this dream of, yeah, we want this foundation to be open for all.
Hmm.
And we're gonna put it, we are all human, because we just cannot forget that we are
Yes.
all human. Like, yes, we do have all the differences, we do have, but we need to be
So,
united.
did your aunt start this foundation?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, she's a founder. She started that foundation. And I was always supporting them, but from the UN side, or from like when I was
Hmm.
government, like always more like on a part-time basis. I was always supporting because this was like would energize me. And then
Right.
it's started getting more and more form, and being a little bit more adapted into the social and cultural situation of the country.
Hmm.
We had a massive aha moment, because we were like, yeah, we are Hispanics. Like, we're not Mexicans in the US. We are Hispanics. And it was
Hmm.
a reality, because we had never realized, yeah, we're part of a bigger group. Like, we're not like the Mexicans, or the Dominican Republic, the blah blah blah. It's like we are a very big, powerful group. And then she started getting super deep into the data. And then she
Hmm.
would share all of these numbers, and during dinners, during lunches, during breakfast. And it was just so exciting, such an eye opener of our community, like the sense of belonging, and that sense of belonging that gave my hometown the feeling of a hometown, like my
Right.
hometown, like
Right.
what is. And then you start you start connecting the dots, and we were like, oh wow, like 4.3 trillion in GDP from this community. Wow. And then
Hmm.
seeing like, okay, we're the youth. And then we would like, what do you mean we're the youth? And then it's like, okay, just this year, like the mode of the age of the Hispanics versus the non-Hispanics. Do you want to guess that one?
No, I'll let you go.
So the most common age for the Latinos in the US is 17 years old.
Wow.
17. And the most common age for non-Latinos is 63. So if you want to have, I don't know, if you want to have an employee, if you want to have a supplier, if you want to have a consumer, you might want to start like looking into the Hispanic community, and you want to make sure that they're united. You want to make sure that they're acting collectively. You want to make sure that they know the power of their contributions for the
Right.
right reasons, like education, community, effectiveness, unity.
Right.
And then it was a whole environment. Like it was a whole um, it was a whole Pandora box,
Right.
and it's
Right.
been very exciting since then. I don't want to use the word fight. It's not a
Hmm.
fight, but it's a realization, and it's a
Right.
realization that we are sharing not only in the US but across the world because of our backgrounds, both my background and also my aunt's background. Like we are coming from global environments, so
Right.
we go and we open this agenda at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. We bring it to the Cannes Lion Advertisement Festival with the marketers, and then we do things in the framework of the United Nations General Assembly,
Right. Right.
just like showcasing more of the role models, like pretty much what you're doing. Show me your
Right.
American dream, like where you started, where you're coming from, but within the community and with the allies. Because without the allies, I don't think any of the minority majorities will be able to get anywhere.
Right.
Not because they don't have, not because of not having the capacity or the capability, but it's because we all need each other. Like, we all need
Absolutely.
each other.
Right.
So if you know the power of the Hispanic community, I will know the power of, I don't know, maybe the engineering baddest people that are out there just like yourself. And just
Yes.
you just need to
So
keep sharing the data.
absolutely. So you are so passionate about building meaningful connections and increasing visibility, and you've explained it through your story how building those meaningful connections helped you grow from one part to the other, and your mentors, and how it all came full circle. Why is representation such a critical part of community progress?
I think it's very, very, very important to understand the biases and the misconceptions there has been historically
Mm-hmm.
in the past. The fact that someone younger than you can look at you and be like, I see myself in what you're doing. Like,
Right.
I see myself in what you're doing, in where you're going to. It takes a lot of value.
Right.
Like, we have no idea how much it impacts the perception because, in
Right.
the end, perception is reality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the whole point of my podcast is to provide that perspective because by sharing our stories, it doesn't like we don't know who it's going to impact. We don't know who's going to who might, who it might make a difference for. So sharing the stories is so important. So tell us a little bit about the misconceptions that you see around Hispanic leadership and talent.
So look, we have this. I love this campaign. It's always a challenge. It's always a challenge because for us, so we are trying to change the perception. We are not trying. We're working
Mhm.
very consistently into changing the perception by elevating the narrative of the Hispanic
Right.
community.
Right.
So we have this campaign, and you can go into our Instagram where we start like canceling the misconceptions around the Hispanic community. So first we start like with the Hispanics are very lazy. Okay, that's a misconception. Hispanics, Latinas particularly are building businesses 18 times faster than anyone else. For
Wow.
example, Latino owned businesses are growing 10 times faster than any other business in a
Wow.
national average. By 2033, 101% of the US labor force growth will be Latino. So if you think we're lazy, I think that's a pretty much canceled misconception. Like we start with data, you start this storytelling through data because data alone, those will not mean anything. You can put
Absolutely.
all the data you have and it will be amazing data, like eye-opening data. But if you just put it like that, it doesn't mean anything. It's great that you have it. Like, thank you for sharing. But if you don't create a story where people can feel aligned, attached to anything that you're saying, in the end, it's
Mhm.
just numbers or data.
Yes,
It
absolutely.
would not stick. So we started with that one. So it's a video where this very, like, our founder is amazing. Like, she's got a very big social media presence. So she records herself being lazy with a sombrero, like sleeping next to a tie. And then she's like, okay, no, this is the data. And then it's like, cancel, busted. The
Wow,
first
I love that.
misconception, busted. The second one is like, Latinas are sexy. And then they usually go to the Sofia Vergara, Gloria. I'm already like Gloria, the Modern Family. But it's like, no. So here's the data Latina. How are Latinas building the economic future of this
Mm,
country? And then you put the data there. And the third one, I think it was, I need to remember the third one, but it's like, it's all of them are pretty funny and are pretty sharp, like with
mhm.
bullets and connecting that story on a matter not of DEI. Like, it's not DEI, it's a business opportunity. Like, it's a
Right,
business case.
right. So, what does leadership mean to you at this stage of your career?
That's a very good question. I think leadership takes a lot of facets and a lot of angles depending on leadership for what. Like,
Mm,
I know leadership for my organization is me showing up to do
mhm.
supporting the team, but also providing the vision, the
Right,
strategic vision, the benefits for our members, the connections that will make our members thrive and keep growing and keep elevating that narrative,
right.
showcasing their stories, showcasing their businesses, showcasing. So we have this very interesting example. So I don't know if you've heard about this, but like a dollar. Let's talk about $1. A dollar in the Jewish community get passed 17 times before it goes out.
Wow.
A
Okay.
dollar in the Hispanic community gets touched twice before it leaves. So it's like, yeah, we need to learn a lot from these other communities. Like, we do want to pass around that dollar at least more than 5 times.
Yes.
So that's a part of leadership. That's another phase of leadership. Is showing up, and doing the work and leading by example. I think that
Absolutely.
takes a lot of energy, but a lot of reassurance with it. I think being humble, it's a way of
Yes.
showing leadership. It's a very important one, and I think we should never lose that.
Yes.
Being humble doesn't mean that you value any less, that you're any less valuable, that you have
Hmm.
any less power. I think it gives you even more power. And
Absolutely.
it's very easy to lose track and to lose the floor on that context with the social, cultural, and political situations, not only in one particular country, but in a lot of them. Like, we
Yes.
are exposed to so much information, to so many news, to so many disinformation even. Be humble and ask and do your research and check your sources. Like,
Right.
be humble. No
Yes.
one,
Absolutely.
no one knows it all.
Yes, for
And
sure.
the last type of leadership I would say is spread the knowledge.
Hmm.
If you know
For sure.
something, share something. I think that's
For
very
sure.
important. Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
that's the way our cultures were built upon. The
Absolutely. For
grandmother,
sure.
the grandfather giving the knowledge, passing the knowledge down. I think that's very valuable. And again, that's the best way to get to the top in half the time with less bruises.
Absolutely. So, what advice do you have for young Hispanic leaders dreaming boldly but not sure where to start?
Well, I would begin by know your power.
Hmm.
Like, know your numbers, know your data, know the impact you have in all the decisions in this country.
Right.
Like, your power is immense. Know your data, know your value, and make your decisions on that. Like,
Right.
make your decisions on that. Be informed. Do not believe everything you see in social media.
Yes.
And look, I think like the biggest thing I would always recommend is find yourself a mentor.
Hmm.
I think the importance of mentors are invaluable, and stay true to yourself.
Yes, for sure. That's great advice. So, you have a global platform. What does the American dream mean to you as an immigrant leader with a global platform?
I think the American dream for me has transitioned. I'm gonna tell you a fun story just to wrap this. Living and growing up in a border town, my brother is American. My brother is an American citizen. My brother is he was born after me, so he's the youngest.
Okay.
I was not born in the US, and growing up in the border, I used to get all of these messages of people like the nosy neighbors, you know? Maybe your parents didn't like you that much, and that's why you were born in Mexico and your brother in the US. And I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" So I always had a resentment against the so-called American dream back then.
Right.
Like, growing up, it was like, I'm a nationalist. Like, no, I don't like, it was a very natural thing for me to go to the US and just come back, go and eat, go have lunch, in El Paso and then come back. Or like go see my friends in El Paso and then come back. But I never went to the school. I never went to school in the US. Even all
Hmm.
my programs, all the programs that I did these PowerPoint presentations to go to the certifications, I always avoided the US. And
Mm.
all my friends went to the US for like for amazing programs. They went to Harvard, they went to Yale, they went to Stanford. And I was like, no, like, I want to go to China. I want to go to Canada. I want to go to Australia. I want to go, like, not because I did not believe in the American dream, but it was something that was instated in my brain, like something that
Mhm.
was, I don't know, like that I could not tailor to what I thought it was.
Right.
But then when work called me
Yes.
to New York, it was like, you know what? I'm gonna make my American dream the way I would have loved knowing that an American dream could have been, which is, yes,
Absolutely.
full of opportunities, but full of strength,
Yes.
full of the opportunity to make your decisions and work towards making that life a reality. Because when you move to the US, it's not pretty. It's not full of flowers. It's not. So, first of all, the immigration process, like even I came here with a diplomatic visa. And then when I moved to work to the foundation, I had to transition my visa to a work visa. I was
Absolutely. Not pretty, yes.
shaking because I was like, I was not paying taxes. I'm gonna pay taxes for the first time in my life. I'm gonna pay taxes in the US. Like I was paying taxes in Mexico, and that was also. But then when I came here and it was like, okay, this transition, being on a diplomatic visa, what a blessing. But then, like all of those transitions, it's like if you were adulting 101 all over again.
Yes,
All
absolutely.
over again. Like, and you already feel like a pretty settled adult, and then you have to face all of these things, and you're like,
Yes,
all of a sudden you need to like learn things again
for sure.
and understand things again and like create an apartment from zero again. Like I remember my first apartment in New York, I was able to put together with scraps and pieces that my coworkers gave me. Like I had a trash can from one of my friends at work, and then I even had like a new shower curtain from one that was I have an extra shower curtain they wanted. And I was like, yes. So I was shameless. I was like, this is my American dream. I'm working from zero. I'm not 15 years old. I'm not 20 years old, but I'm not scared of
Absolutely.
starting from zero. And it's fine because it's going to be whatever I want it to be. You know, like I
Absolutely.
don't have a chip in my shoulder. I don't have a chip on my shoulder that is telling me how my American dream should be. And
For
so
sure.
far, it's turned so good. And the funniest part is I'm still learning. Like I'm
Yes.
still getting adjusted to my American dream, to my American rights,
Yeah.
my American obligations as a citizen, as an immigrant, as a Hispanic, and as a professional.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your global experience. If somebody wants to connect with you or work with you, learn with you, what's the best way to connect with you?
Of course. So I would love to give you openly my email. I am pretty active with my email even when I am out of office. So that's a joke within my
Yes.
colleagues. So my email is Carolina at weareallhuman.org, or you can find me on LinkedIn. And I would love to get in touch with anyone and everyone who would want to reach out and learn more about my journey or what we do at the We Are All Human Foundation. And thank you so
Perfect.
much, Anisha, for doing this and for providing these amazing platforms for people to share their stories. We are here, but you're doing the biggest pull by bringing us here. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. As we close this inspiring conversation with Carolina, one thing is undeniable. When we elevate one voice, we elevate a community. Carolina's work reminds us that visibility, belonging, and leadership are not simply goals, they are catalysts for generational change. If you're ready to amplify your own mission of digital presence, I'd love to help you bring that vision to life. This is Anisha Jennings, and I'll see you in the next episode of Your American Dream. Thank you for tuning into Your American Dream. I hope this episode left you feeling inspired and ready to take on the world. Remember when I first landed in the US, lost and overwhelmed? Well, look at us now. We're building our dreams together. Your story matters, and I'm so honored to be a part of it. If you enjoyed our chat today, please spread the love. Rate, review, and share. Let's grow this amazing community of dreamers together. Want more? Catch my daily doses of inspiration on my Instagram at Jennings Tech Corner. Also, check out the show notes for more ways to connect. Remember, your accent is the voice of your ambition. Your background is your superpower. Let's dream big and achieve bigger. Until then, this is Anisha cheering you every step of the way.